That phrase, shared experiences, is very important. And I see that uh, isolation leads in one direction and sharing experiences leads in a different direction. And so, actually, our ability to share our experiences with each other is what in my mind, makes life meaningful, but it also makes life bearable and then moving into makes it exciting and worthwhile. And and so what when I'm working with people that are feeling suicidal, uh, what I want to do is I want to create a space in which they're able to share their experience with me, and they can experience that I'm understanding what they're going through, so that there's a feeling like we're in it together. If we're if they're telling me about what they're thinking, feeling, hoping, fearing, suffering, and they can see through the look on my face or the tone of my voice that I understand the impact that that's having on them, and then they can allow themselves to for me to be with them in that, then we're in the experience together. And there's an interesting set of research studies that has to do with what happens when we're in the experience together. Here's just one example, although there's others. And this is a study in which a person is asked to look at a hill and say how steep the hill is. And, so they say how steep it looks to them. And then they're also standing next to a person that they trust that's been their friend, and then are asked, how steep does the hill look? And invariably they say, the hill doesn't look as steep, and I'm standing next to this person that I trust. And actually, the longer they've been friends, or the more that they trust the other person, the less steep the hill looks. And I really think that that's a mechanism that's working when we share experiences with each other. I think that people get worried that if they ask somebody who's suffering about their suffering, it'll make it worse. But that research says that if you ask somebody that's suffering and they can feel that you're connected with them, that you're in it with them, then that hill is not going to look so steep to them. It actually increases their hopefulness, their sense of self-efficacy, or their ability to deal with whatever is happening. And you can imagine, if you're with several other people that you that are wanting to share in your experience, that it makes it so that it doesn't seem as daunting as it did before when you were by yourself. And so with suicide, that's a sign that somebody's suffering. And so what I try to focus on is what is the suffering that makes life seem like it's unbearable, and so I ask about that more so than the urge to die or that kind of thing. When I'm, at least in this part of the process, finding out what's going on, what's made life, so that you feel like you would be better off dead. Does that relieve pain or help you have a sense of dignity in your life or control in your life that you otherwise wouldn't have? And so I think that's really been valuable, both when I've provided that to other people, that sense of a shared experience, and then also, when people have asked me, how's it going? You look like you might be struggling a little bit. And they've taken the time to listen. And sometimes it's, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, maybe not very long even. But to really, that the suffering's been noticed, that the person has made that an important thing by asking the question, and that they've been interested, and then they've taken time to listen to what the answer to that story is as well. So, so this idea of listening to somebody's suffering, and that it actually gives somebody a sense of hope because they're not in it alone. It's something that I've been learning about over the last 10 years, and wasn't so much emphasized in my training earlier than that. But but more recently, it's been a focus.